Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I recently did a video on some of the baits that I think will be popular in 2023. I got a lot of positive feedback on that, and I got a lot of comments where people were asking me to talk about trends within the fishing industry that I think will be popular this upcoming season. So I figured I'd do a video and give you 5 trends that I think we'll see during 2023 that maybe we haven't either seen before in quite some time, or they're completely new trends that I think are really going to start taking the fishing world by storm. In either case, I've got for you some trends here that I think might surprise some of you. I think some of you might be, well, you might think I'm crazy. And if you do, put it in the comments section, and at the same time, if you have other trends that you want to predict will be popular for 2023, put that in the comments section too. Before I do get into these trends, though, I want to remind you that if you do want to have some direct contact with me, check out the one-on-one virtual lessons that I do. They're basically 1-hour Zoom calls where we can break down lakes or patterns, whatever it is that you want to talk about that's fishing related. It's a great way to have some direct contact with me. And that I'll put the link for that in the video description so that you can find out more information if that interests you. So let's get into these 2023 trend predictions. The first one I've got for you, a lot of you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I truly believe when I look at the tournament schedule and some of the lakes that the national tournaments are going to, I think we might see this bait become popular again. And that is right here, guys, the lizard. We have not heard much about the lizard probably in the last 15 years. I feel like in the 90s and early 2000s, it was a very popular lure. This is the 8-inch Berkeley power bait lizard, one of my favorites. I've got here another one that's a good one. This is a 6-inch zoom lizard. These baits are very, very good producing baits when you're talking about a Texas rig or just as a Carolina rig or a Texas rig bait. And for some reason, they've kind of disappeared. But what I have seen also on Tackle Warehouse is there's a bunch of companies that have come out with some new high-tech looking lizards that aren't kind of out of the same mold here. There's some like Fish Lab has one that's a big salamander that I have had quite a bit of luck on. And I just feel like this trend is due to come back. It's a great fish producing bait that just is kind of faded away over the last 15 years. But the reality is they will come back. And I feel like 2023 could be the year for that. And this leads me into the second trend. And this is something I've kind of pointed out in some other videos. But right here, guys, we've got a sapphire blue lizard. I think we're going to see blue be the most popular color in 2023. We're seeing a lot of the electric blue colors coming back, like in the Shape 108 worm. This is a cross style bait. We're seeing it in a lot of hard baits, like this money badger in the killer craw color. We're seeing it all over the place pop up. And it's not a new trend. You go back and look at guys like Tommy Biffle and Denny Brower, they made the electric blue color popular back probably in the late 90s and early 2000s. I mean, there was a while where like the number one jig selling color was an electric blue jig with an electric blue trailer. It's a great producing color. And the other thing I'll point out, anytime you're talking about this electric blue type color, it's a very universal color to be used in any sort of water situation. It works in dirty water, it works in clear water, it works in warm water, and it works in cold water. So it is a very universal color, which is one of the reasons why it's a very popular color and will be a popular color in 2023. So you're going to see a lot more of this. Berkeley calls it Labatt blue. A lot of other companies call it electric blue. You're gonna see more sapphire blue, whatever color it is that you want to call it. You're gonna see a lot of it in 2023. And it's because it's a great fish producing color. It was a great one 15 years ago, kind of disappeared a little bit. It's coming back. We're gonna see it heavy in 2023. All right, next up, another one that I'm going to try to make as popular as possible is the hover strolling technique. This is a hover strolling bait. This is a hook design that I've got coming out, so stay tuned. It'll be coming out in January. It makes the hover strolling technique extremely simple to use. The true technique or the beginning of the technique came out where you used a 90-degree jig hook and then you inserted a nail weight into it. Well, I've compacted all of that together and created what I call the hover rig hook. And because of that, I think we're going to see it become extremely popular in 2023. There's a lot of professionals using it as a great finesse tool. We've starting to see a lot more videos on hover strolling. There's a lot more specialized gear coming out for it. So I think it's going to be a major finesse trend that we see in 2023. And hopefully you guys will go out and buy the hover rig hook that we're coming out with so that you can experience how good hover strolling can be, especially for finesse presentations. So if you're talking about fishing northern smallmouth, spotted bass down south, or largemouth during the spring months, you're going to see and hear a lot about hover strolling in 2023. Next up, this is going to be a continuation of a trend from 2022, and that's going to be that the jerkbait is going to be an all-around bait that's used all year long. We've really seen the jerkbait resurgent based on forward-facing sonar. People are loving a jerkbait because they can see it really well on their screens and they can see how the fish react to it. And it's become a great tool if you like forward-facing sonar. So I think because the popularity of forward-facing sonar continues to get bigger and greater and new stuff's coming out. Lowrance is getting ready to release their Active Target Pro. There's just a bunch of advancements coming. I think there's a new live scope that was released last year. The point is that trend is not going away anytime soon. And the jerkbait is really enjoying a resurgence as a year-long bait because of it. And I don't see that trend stopping in 2023. I think we're going to see just the jerkbait continue to be a major factor in fishing all year long versus just being a cold water bait, which is kind of where it was being pigeonholed. The last trend that I'm going to predict again is something I've talked about over previous videos, and that's this whole micro trend. Baits like this little Super Trooper. This is a Jenko. This is what they call their their paddle fry, which is known as a crappie bait. Z-Man just released a whole series of micro finesse baits like this micro TRD and a bunch of different craws. The point is, we're seeing a lot of micro baits being released by major tackle brands for the specifically geared towards bass fishing. A lot of these baits at one point were marketed as crappie baits, but because we're seeing that they're really producing well in very heavily pressured bodies of water, companies are kind of rebranding or coming out with new baits that fit this micro finesse role. At the same time, we're also seeing this big growth in the BFS, the bait finesse systems, which is your finesse bait casting gear. And because of that, people are using that and looking for small baits that they can use with their finesse bait cast systems. And the micro baits are just becoming extremely popular because of it. They catch a pile of fish. They're great on pressured bodies of water, and people enjoy catching fish on light line. So I think we're going to continue to see a major trend in micro baits as our lakes become more pressured and as the fish are accustomed to seeing a lot of baits. Generally speaking, the smaller you go, the more bites you're going to get. So those are 5 trends for 2023 that I expect to see in full bore throughout the entire year. So let me know, like I said, in the comment section, what trends do you think we're going to see in 2023? Do you think you're still going to see vibrating jigs be a huge player? Do you think spinner baits will continue to make a resurgence? So whatever it is, put it in the comment section. I love these types of videos. I think it's always interesting to do it, make our predictions, and then reevaluate at the end of the year. Were we right or were we wrong? Only time will tell in this case. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for a new video coming out tomorrow.